Now, please, Captain Buggy, don't you? It's not worth it, Captain Buggy. No, please, please. No! Hey guys, Duo Bros back at you with another video. This one is extremely terrifying. It's the video about Captain Buggy. So for those of you who don't know who this amazing character is, he is the first villain in One Piece to be confirmed to have a devil fruit other than Luffy himself. Ooh. Now as you'd expect, he's pretty powerful. He has 3 main crew members, and today we are going to go over all 3 of them. I'm super amped because I love Buggy. Buggy's an amazing character with an amazing backstory, with an amazing story. So let's get into it. Without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. For you who don't know, this is the infamous Captain Buggy. Yes, and we get introduced to him through the amazing world of One Piece. Luffy takes him on in this adventure, but we're not here to talk about Luffy versus Buggy. We are here to talk about Buggy, the man, the myth, the legend, the clown. That is Buggy right there. And as you can see, his character design is obviously based off of a clown. Woo, scary. And he's got a giant red nose with cool face paint and blue hair. Why blue hair? I don't know. I don't know why blue hair. Why Oda? Why he have blue hair? Don't know. But that's not important. What is important to think about is that he is one of the 4 kings of the East Blue. He ranks, in my opinion, 3rd on the list of East Blue Kings. And I'll tell you the full list, who's ranked above who in the 4, in the last video of Arlong's. Okay? Anyway, so Buggy has this huge village under control. In fact, I think it is even stated he's got villages. My man's got villages in his area. So, that being said, you know, he controls these villages. They're all abandoned because everybody left. They were tired of being there, tired of being oppressed. There was no point anymore of them being there if they were just going to be killed. Buggy's very sinister. He likes to use the village as testing sites, which is kind of sick to me. Okay, he uses the Muggy Ball and the Buggy Ball. He's a demolition expert. Okay, and that's something a lot of people don't talk about. He is very well versed in the world of demolition and explosives. Okay, despite how he looks, he is actually pretty intimidating when we first see him. He is a psychopath when we first see him. He wants to kill anybody that pisses him off. Okay, like a real pirate. And when I first saw Buggy, I remember thinking to myself, wow, this guy is going places, okay? But I didn't realize that he actually went places. This man has been in it all, okay? He was originally on the Pirate King's crew. What? What? The Pirate King himself had my man's Buggy as one of his crew members. That's insane. Who? What? What? So, apparently, right, Buggy was a stowaway on the Pirate King, Roger, on his crew. And Roger kind of, I don't know. See, that's the thing. We don't know Buggy's true backstory. We get a little bit of it, but what I can make out of it is that Buggy was seen as like a problem child. They probably picked him up somewhere and was like, hey, little boy, you want to work for us? And Buggy's like, fuck you. You know, he didn't want to do any of that. But they took him on anyway, and he became a respected crew member. Well, Swabby. He became a respected Swabby in the crew. You can see he is buddy-buddy with Rayleigh in the flashback, and Rayleigh is the second in command of Roger's crew. Okay? And that's a pretty big deal. You know, Swabbies in real life would have been, like, extremely abused. Okay? They were literally there to clean up the shit of the crew. Okay? So the poop deck was a real thing. Okay? And the crew often had diarrhea. And when they would shit off the side of ships, it would sometimes get on the ledge. Hey, guess who cleaned that up? It wasn't the crew. No, no, no. It was the Swabbies who learned how to become crew members. And sorry for the noise. It's Happy New Year's, guys. It's New Year's. So anyway, Buggy was on the Pirate King's crew, which is just mind-blowing because he's such a weak pirate. But he has probably the most OP Devil Fruit I've ever seen. If he goes up against Mihawk or Zoro, he gets a free pass. Neither of them would be able to cut him, and even if they used Haki, it's debatable, okay? And if you guys don't know what Haki is, it's basically spirit. And in Asian folklore, if you use your chi energy combined with your soul, that brings out your true Haki, or true spirit. And it's used a lot in martial arts. It hasn't been confirmed or denied that it exists, but it's definitely an interesting factor. Now, Buggy himself is kind of a feeble character. He's scared of everything. When there's a true threat, he would rather run away. He's not one to stay behind and fight. But if he thinks it's a for sure win, he's going to fight. As we see in the East Blue Saga, when he fights Luffy and Zoro, he is 100% confident, 100% cocky because of his past experiences. He has gone up against crew members like Whitebeard, Marco, you know, everybody in the Whitebeard Pirates. Buggy has fought those guys on that level. And Luffy back then was nowhere near that level. The dude was like here, and the guys Buggy has seen are up here. So he was like, oh, I'm on this guy's level. This guy's nothing. You know, I've seen Devil Fruits, I've fought them. And I think that underestimation ultimately was Buggy's defeat. I think if Buggy hadn't been so cocky, he could have killed Luffy, respectively. Now, this is hard because I only reviewed the East Blue Saga talking about this. But Buggy reappears throughout the whole anime, the whole manga. Okay? So the next time we see Buggy is actually in Log Town. And I'm just gonna get comfy. But well, you can't really see me now, can you? Hold on. I got this. I got my neat chair. Okay. So when we see Buggy, the next time we see him is in Log Town. And Log Town is the birthplace of the King of the Pirates. Okay? And in this area, we get Buggy coming back looking for Luffy. He figured Luffy would go to the Grand Line. Log Town is the final destination before entering the Grand Line. And Buggy finally finds Luffy and gets his revenge. Luffy is on the podium, smiling, ready for his death. As Buggy brings down the sword, Buggy's luck just goes straight down the toilet, and he gets struck by lightning and ultimately is burnt to a crisp. Now, Buggy does come back later than that, though. Okay? Now, Luffy decides he's going to try and rescue Ace later on. Spoiler alert. And during that time, we actually get to see Buggy again. He's in the Crimson Hell, which is level 2 of Impel Down. Now, level 2 of Impel Down is like riffraff. It is not Notorious Pirate level. In fact, I think it's stated that those are like anywhere from 10 to 20 million berries as far as bounties goes, which in our world would be, I think, something like 150,000, or maybe even less than that. It might even be like 10,000. I don't know. It's weird how berries to dollars work. But respectively, though, Buggy laid low throughout his whole life. He was never one to try and become something great until we meet him in the East Blue, which he was trying to become a notorious pirate at that time, I think. I think he decided enough is enough. I want the world to know my name because of what I've been through. Okay? And he never gets that. He never gets that kind of closure. He just kind of, you know, just rolls his way using other people's fame to get him where he's at. Later on, though, he does become a warlord. This is after the Great War. During the Great War, Buggy actually saved Luffy. And this is how he saved Luffy. He basically picked up Luffy, and using his Baranomi, that's the name of his devil fruit, it allows him to separate his body at will. And I think, technically, he has to be cut first before he can separate that body part. So if you were to chop off his nose, then he can separate it. He can't separate it before you cut his nose off. I don't know if that's exactly right, but I believe that is what was mentioned in the manga. So that would be the most canon point of reference to go by. However, he saves Luffy's life. He carries Luffy from the shoreline of the Great War to Law's submarine about 200 meters away. And I think that's the point of distance. The way it works is a giant bubble surrounds Buggy. Okay, and this giant bubble is like way bigger than this room, and this is the master bedroom. Way bigger than this room. It spreads even way bigger than probably a house. And that is the range in which he can make his body parts float. Now, I don't know if there's an official range of cutoff that we know. We've just seen a little bit of how it works. But it's really cool. So anyway, he floats, he's carrying Luffy, and he drops him on the submarine to be saved. That's great, okay? The next time we see Buggy is after Dressrosa when he's reading the news. And he finds out that one of his very own crew members, who is a giant, goes over to Luffy's side. And Buggy can't have that. Buggy cannot have that. Because, I don't know, you would think they'd be friends by now. You know what I mean? Buggy's been there like 3 arcs. I mean, come on. Just hold hands with the dude. Now, Buggy aside, you know, we do have 2 other crew members, and they're really not that interesting. They do have cool designs when we first see them. One is Cabaji. Let me show you a picture of Cabaji. And as you can see here, this guy's Cabaji. He's not much to go off of. He does have a cool character design with the hair. Really not that cool of a guy. Kind of embarrassing, to be honest. His bounty's extremely low. But the theme here is, guys, is circus performers. And Cabaji kind of fits in with that unicyclist and a sword routine. And if you guys never seen that, the unicyclist is going back and forth, and he's got a sword in his mouth, and he's, you know, handless and trying to keep on the unicycle and doing all of that, which is really impressive. Now, Cabaji can use a sword on a unicycle while throwing tops. Have you tried that? That is impossible. Okay, so the dude is pretty cool. He does have a bounty of 4.5 million, which is like in the One Piece world, that's like nothing. That's not even worth trying to go at him. But it is a quick meal at the end of the day, I suppose, for some bounty hunters. He's not really that intimidating. He does have a pretty cool fight with Zoro. Zoro has a little bit of a tough time just because of how nimble this guy is. This guy can jump off his unicycle, swing his sword, and then land right back on his unicycle. He can use tops to confuse the enemies. Zoro's like, oh my god! I don't know, tops are dangerous at the end of the day, I suppose. But, Cabaji, all in all, not too interesting. I believe he is, I don't think he's the vice captain. I think Moji's the vice captain. Maybe. But he is, I think he's the chief of staff. I think that's his official title in the crew. But he is seen as stronger than Moji. Okay? And Moji, getting into him, I love Moji. Okay? When I was a kid, I used to want to be kind of like Moji because his design was so ugly, I thought it was like me. And I loved animals. So I was like, Beast Tamer? I want that title. I want to be a Beast Tamer too. And Moji's thing is that he's not very strong by himself, but he has a wicked giant lion who he tamed on his side. Okay? And I'll show you guys a picture of that right now. So there's a solid picture of it right there. Moji and Richie fighting Luffy. Luffy was in a cage at this point. So Luffy was trapped at this point in a cage, and there was nothing he can do. Stupidly, Moji uses Richie's power to smash the cage, which was made out of cement and bars, and Luffy was able to get out and kick both of their asses. Now, that being said, on normal circumstances, a lion the size of a building is pretty intimidating. In the One Piece world, apparently it's not anything too crazy. But again, Moji's the vice captain, okay? And he is next in line behind the Devil Fruit. So, obviously Moji and Richie pack a powerful punch. You have this really beautiful scene where they're beating up a dog. Not that that's the beautiful scene, but they're beating up a dog, and the dog, all it wants to do is protect its dog food until its owner gets back. It doesn't know its owner's already dead, but it's trying to protect the dog food that its owner gave him. And Richie's just eating it all, devouring it. The dog's trying to fight back, but Richie's just too big. It doesn't even really notice the dog, and swats him away. And Luffy beats the crap out of Moji and Richie and brings back one box of dog food for the dog. And that's all Luffy was able to salvage. But that was a beautiful scene because you have the dog crying, taking back the dog food. It sucks, but at least Luffy was able to spare something for him. Again, not much to either Moji or Kabeji. You know, as a kid they're pretty cool, but they don't really have any character developments. They're mostly there for comedic effect, as well as Buggy, really. Buggy's just pretty much a gag character. So the way it works in the world of Oda is that when you have a gag character that's canon, you decide to make him a really big deal, okay? Because all of Roger's crew was supposed to be executed. And the next person who was a swabby is Shanks. Yes, Shanks. Red-haired Shanks. Okay? I don't want to show a picture of him in this video because I want to use that for later on. But red-haired Shanks is one of the 4 emperors of the One Piece world. That's a big deal. That is one step below Pirate King. In fact, I think if they wanted to, any one of the 4 emperors could become Pirate King. I think they're like only one step down. Now, Shanks and Buggy were both swabbies. They actually grew up as brothers together. They went from being on Roger's crew at a very young age until Roger died at, I believe they were at a pretty mature age. I think they were at least in their 20s when Roger died, or was executed. Now, the relationship between Shanks and Buggy, like I said, they're like brothers. Buggy is always trying to be the one that's right, the one that's always the boss, and Shanks is laughing along, just making fun of Buggy constantly, and it's great to see. I mean, they truly act like brothers. And to think that Shanks, who is one of the 4 Yonko and arguably the most popular character in One Piece, is brothers to Buggy. What? That's why I love Oda. Anyway, so Buggy's character, though, is kind of that lucky guy. You know, that one guy who can bullshit his way through any scenario and make it out alive. That's Buggy. Okay, and some people hate it, some people love it. I love it. Okay, and if you guys are fans of One Punch Man, King is the exact same way. Okay, now the thing, though, about Buggy is that he's got overwhelming potential to do something great. Okay, this dude has the most, I'd say one of the most powerful paramecia fruits, right behind the Guro no Mi. The reason why I say that is because he can use teleportation, he can use hovering abilities, he can use this for assassination. If he combined this with hockey, he would be unstoppable. Okay, but he's not going to do that because that's not within his character limits. I mean, Buggy will pretty much stop dry where he's at. He hasn't peaked or progressed, I don't think. I don't think he's gotten stronger. I think he's gotten more arrogant. And that might be dangerous too, because if he actually used his fruit rather than get scared, he might actually be a threat. Now, let's talk about where he compares between Kuro and Don Craig. Okay, this isn't a ranking, but this is how he compares to them. Okay, Don Craig was arrogant, but he had the brute strength to back it up. He also had technology that nobody else really had in the East Blue. That's why he was known as the ruler. Kuro was overwhelmingly smart, and he had speed on his side. Okay, Buggy has a devil fruit. That's it. He doesn't have anything the other 2 have. Okay, so if he went up against the other 2, I think he would lose. For real. I think he would just get decimated. I know earlier in the video I said he ranks 3rd in my opinion, and that's my opinion. That is not the legitimate rank. Okay, his rank, we'll get into that. But as far as going up against Don Craig and Kuro, he would lose. The reason being is because Buggy would get so terrified of those 2 based on their abilities alone compared to his. Okay, you have to remember, Buggy hasn't always had a devil fruit. Okay? He can remember when he didn't have one, and how vulnerable he was against guys like Marco, Jozu, you know, heavy hitters on Whitebeard's crew. And that's intimidating in itself. So I don't really blame Buggy for having that mindset, but if he put himself into his work and started using his devil fruit, starting to really kind of just visualize how to use it and focused on his ability, he could become a very heavy hitter later on, even past Warlord. Now I don't think he could become a Yonko or anything like that, no. But he can amass the numbers to become a Yonko. Absolutely. That is his gift, is just bringing on friendship. It's like Luffy. Luffy, everywhere he goes, he makes friends. Buggy's the exact same way, which is why his name might be Buggy D. Clown. Get it? Buggy the Clown, Buggy the Clown, Buggy D. Clown. He starts a corporation basically where he hires mercenaries to fight for him and make him money. So he is vastly rich. And in fact, in the East Blue Saga, he had a wealthy treasure pile. I mean, it was huge. It was like this big and all gold. I don't know about you, but I could use some of that. So again, recapping everything, again, he's not the strongest, but he's a fun character because Oda keeps bringing him back. And I hope that Oda brings him back to become an ally of the Straw Hats. I think that'd be really cool. For notoriety, Buggy's up there. I mean, right now his bounty is frozen, but I'm sure they raised it after the Great War before inviting him. I'm pretty sure it would be probably something like 500 million. Now, Kabaji and Moji, they're probably at the same power level they were at. Richie too. In fact, it looks like they got fat. Because, you know, they're rich now. They don't have to fight anymore. They don't have to try and be someone. Sorry, my video cut out because I'm out of storage. But anyway, guys, I love you all so much. That's it for Buggy and Buggy's character. The next villain we'll be talking about is Arlong. I'm so pumped for that one. I love Arlong. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like the video. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. It really helps a lot. It makes me happier, makes you happier. I'll keep putting stuff out there no matter what. And I'll keep getting better at videos. What can I say? I'm getting there. But if you guys want, you know, if I don't talk about a character you like, go ahead and just submit it down in the comments or DM me. It's the same as my YouTube channel, my Instagram. DM me, guys. I need stuff to do. I'm bored. But anyway, guys, love you all. Happy New Year. I hope I'm ending it out with a bang. See you guys next time. Duo Bros, signing out.